Well, there has been a massive flare-up in Israel-Palestine ties. After a series of attacks, both the sides are claiming that the fight will continue. It's a century-old issue. The Israel-Palestinian issue is now simmering as the world watches on. I'm joined by three very prominent guests. Hananya Naftali, who's a prominent Israeli speaker. I'm joined by Dr. Fadi Essmaeel, a research fellow at the International Institute for Counter-Terrorism, and I'm also joined by Dr. Ajrami, who's a political analyst. Hananya, I would like to start by asking you, do you believe this is an issue which can be solved? It's a 100-year-old issue. We have seen how thousands have lost their lives. Do you believe this is an issue which can be solved in years to come, or do you think that this is an issue which will continue for another 100 years?
This is a very tough question, given the fact that I served myself in the Israeli military and I fought terrorism myself. The answer is actually quite simple, because although there is a tragic death on the Israeli side, we have just seen recently the terror attacks in Jerusalem, and also I'm very sad whenever I hear tragic deaths on the Palestinian side, but I think that the solution to this starts with education. I grew up in Israel. I was never taught to hate my neighbors, but yet the Palestinian authority teaches in schools that Israel does not exist, that whenever they see a Jew, it needs to die. They teach to hate people. And on this special occasion, when Israel and India mark 30 years to the diplomatic relations, we share common values and we share common challenges. And I think that one of those challenges is the fight on radicalism and against radicalism, because it is the fight that is not just for Israel, but for all nations that want to see peace. So I think that the solution is education.
So you believe the solution is education? Dr. Essmaeel, do you really think the solution is education? You're a research fellow. You know the history. Do you think, if both the sides are educated, this is something which can go away, or do you think what really needs to be done is for the people to sit on a table and to actually find a solution to this problem?
Well, of course, education is one of the many tools. Education is a tool in the hands of governments, of societies, to prepare the youngsters, the people, the children, today's children, to behave in a certain way 10, 15 years later as adults. So, of course, education is basically the end result of policy. I mean, if every government and every leadership educates its young population, also its older population, in the direction that it wishes to direct them in the future.
Dr. Ajrami, do you think, like the other guest said, that education is very important, but do you think political will is actually what is needed here? One can educate as much as you want, but if there is no political will, this is a problem which will continue for another century.
I think this problem can be solved if there is a willingness and there is a leadership who can go to negotiations and to peaceful agreement, especially by obeying the international law and the terms of reference which were accepted by the international community and the Palestinian side, and also part of the Israelis. If we speak about changing the reality, I think by decisions from leadership, something can be changed in a very maybe a few terms. But if we speak about education without changing the reality, I think nothing can be done in this aspect. The reality educates more than anything else. If we are speaking about accepting the other side and have some kind of tolerance within this period of clashes and killing people, Palestinians are killed by daily basis, and this year, from the beginning of this month, January, we lost 31 Palestinians who were killed by the Israeli army. It is not possible to educate people to see the other side as accepted and to have reconciliation or peaceful movement or agreement with the other side without changing this reality. I think we have a very critical and difficult period that it should be changed by political decisions to change the reality, to make people think that there is something can be done to improve the situation and to gain hope for the future. Without this, nothing can be done.